declaring this parameter here. So p dot parameter name, I'm giving it name, suppose return. Its type is int, and the most important thing, its direction. Okay, because this is not the input parameter, so its direction is return value. Okay, so by default, when we use any stored procedure, by default the parameters are input parameters, but in this case we wanted to return value from the stored procedure, so direction of this parameter will be return value. Once this parameter is declared, now if we will see this example, these are 3 input parameters that we are passing and which has value also, and these parameter names, they should match with the name of the stored procedures parameter names. This is a parameter that we are using. We have declared it because we wanted to return some value from the stored procedure and we wanted to retrieve it here. So for that purpose, we have declared one more variable, one more parameter here, but we need to add it also to the command collection. So we'll say command dot parameters dot add, and we need to add this parameter to this command collection of the parameters. And once you execute the query, now we will be having the value of the parameter also. So I can say integer flag is equal to, and it is com dot parameters, and its name was ret, and then I can use its value here. Again, its return type is also, its type is also object, so we need to convert it to integer. Okay, and then I can use this value of this flag to print a message that what actually has happened in the procedure. The value of flag is 0 or 1. 0 means record with same name already exists. So record is not inserted. Otherwise we can say record is inserted. So if we execute this application now, so we can see if I enter, like Anju is already there. So okay, again I've used here. So I will change the message. I will response dot write. We're not working in console applications. We can also use label to display this message. So if I enter here this name, which is already there, so we get a message, record with this name already exists. But if I enter some other name, so record will be inserted. And we can see, we can refresh this page and we will see. So this record is coming in this grid view also. Okay, so till now we have seen how to use return value to return the value and how to retrieve that value in ADO.NET through ADO.NET in the front-end application. Okay, so if a procedure is returning more than one value, or if a procedure is returning a value which is not of integer type, maybe of string type, so in that case we have to use output parameters. So now we will take another example. Suppose I wanted to pass the ID of employee and I wanted to fetch all the other values, like values for name, department, and experience also. Okay, so in that case we will be using now output parameters. So for that, first we need to create a procedure in SQL. So create display emp. I will pass ID. This will be passed as an input parameter, but I wanted to retrieve from here name, department, and experience. So I cannot return those values by using return statement, because return statement already we know that it is used to only pass one value, and that is also of integer type. So if you want to return more than one value, we have to use output parameters. So we'll declare those parameters here now first in the stored procedures. So with the parameters now we have to add out keyword. So it is, and we have to add here now out. Similarly, we have to also return from here department. So we will also add out here experience int, and here also I will add out keyword. Okay, now select @name is equal to name, @department is equal to department, @experience is equal to experience. Okay, the column name was EXEPE, where ID is @ID and end. Okay, so this is how we are using stored procedure to return the values by using output parameter. So if we execute this, okay, we are missing something. Okay, we are missing the from statement, the very important statement here. So it's employee. Okay, now if you want to check it from SQL Server, so what we can do, we need to declare some variables here. So declare name, and we are just testing it from SQL Server first. Declare department, experience int, and then we will call this procedure execute. Procedure name is display underscore emp. Suppose I wanted to see record of employee whose ID is 1. So this 1 will be stored in this ID parameter, and I wanted to get name out, department out. So it will call the procedure, and this is stored in this ID variable parameter, and the name, department, and experience we are passing from here, which are output parameters. And to print their values, we can use print name, print department, and experience, and then we can execute these statements together to check. Okay, so what is the procedure name? We will check the procedure name. It's okay, display, the spelling is wrong here. It's display emp. So if we will execute this, so we can get the records. We're getting this record of employee ID 1. Now, if you want to call this procedure from through ADO.NET in the client or the web application, so what changes we have to do here now? So I will add one more web form here. Okay, so this form is edited here now. So I will write enter ID who's the record to display, and then I will add a text box here. So I will add another text box in which I wanted to store the value. And then I will add a button here. So I will change the IDs, which is very important. This is IDs BTN. Display search. Okay. So if I click on this ID, we will be passing from here, and the other details they should come from the from the stored procedure. So again we need all the other steps are same. We need to first add that DLL here, system dot data dot SQL client. Then we need to add the connection object here. So immediately I will copy this connection from here. The purpose is again to save our time. So it is copied here. So we have to give name of the procedure which we want to call from here now. So it is display EMP. You have to also pass connection object, and then we have to inform that this is not a command. This is not a simple query, but this is a stored procedure. Stored procedure. Okay, now in this case we have to pass some parameters. So we have to only pass one parameter, add with value @ID, and it will take its value from so I will convert value of txt ID to int. Okay, this is the input parameter. Okay, for the other three parameters which are coming from there as output parameters, we need to declare three separate parameters like we did for return parameters which were coming for by using the return statement. So its name, I want to give it name, and its type is varchar, and its length is 20. Next was for department. So its name is department. Next, its type is also varchar, and its size is 10. Third parameter, name is experience, and its type is int. There is no size for this variable. Next, we have to add these parameters to this command object like we did for this for this input parameter also. So com dot parameters dot add p1, com dot parameters add p2, com dot parameters dot add p3. Okay, once it is done, now we'll open the connection, execute the query. Once we execute the query, which it means that the records, we will get the values in these parameters p1, p2 and p3 also. So I will declare some variables, or directly I will put it in text box name dot text is equal to com dot parameters, and its name was name dot value, but I need to convert it to string form because its type is string. Similarly, we will do for department also. Its name is dpt value dot to string, txt experience dot text com dot parameters value. Okay, and now we can close the connection and also we can dispose the connection. So it's done now. Again, what were the steps? First we edit this DLL here, use the connection object, use the command object, initialize it with the procedure name. Next, we have to add the parameters to this command object. So in this case, this ID is the input parameter and name, department, experience, these are the output parameters. Okay, we are missing one thing. We are missing the important thing. So we have to tell here p1 dot direction. That is important. So direction of this parameter is output. So we have to do this for all these variables, all these parameters rather. So it will be p2 and it will be p3. So let's execute this application now. Okay, so if I enter ID1 and click on the search, so I'm able to fetch all the records through the procedure by using output parameters. So we can see now how we have used parameterized queries. Okay, so in the first example, we have seen how to use ADO.NET to create connection, okay, to use the command object without parameters. And then we have seen examples how to pass the parameters, means how to use the parameterized queries. And then we have seen how to use stored procedures. Okay, in the last example, we have seen how to use how to use parameters, means when the procedure is returning something by using return statement or by using output parameters, how we can consume it in ADO.NET by using ADO.NET in the front-end applications.